What's up, everybody? So today I'm gonna be prepping coils, so you'll get to see the whole process. Some of it will be normal speed, a lot of it will probably be sped up because it's very repetitive when I'm doing a bunch of coils. So hope you enjoy this one. Alright, so what I've just done was I drilled out the inside lead hole on all of them, and now I'll move my mini mill over and we'll do the same thing to the outside lead hole. And I like to do all the same side first, that way I'm not going back and forth drilling out holes. Alright, so there we go. We got all of the coil washers done. I think I got 40 bottoms, so enough for 20 sets. Front lead, back lead. And then we will go on to the next step. Alright, so next I'm going to be prepping the cores and wrapping them with some Kapton tape, not sure how you pronounce it, but it's a heat resistant tape. Sorry about this glare. I was trying to set up the camera better, but I can't seem to find a good spot to put it. So just like the other video, I'll do maybe one or two and then just speed through the rest because I got a lot to do today. And I typically do 4 to 5 wraps. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I just counted every time the winder is up as 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the easiest way I have found to do it. I'm trying to keep the tape out of the E-clip groove. But I've seen some guys will just do it like this and kind of just wrap the tape around. I just find it easier like this because I have the coil free and both hands to work. And you want to make sure everything is nice and flat. I don't know if you saw, but there was like a little ridge, so I pull it back and then redo it. And I think this might be my last shorty coil because I'm running out of tape. I might have enough for one more after this. Well, that's it right there. That's the last of my tape for shorties. Perfect. All right, so there we go. So I like to wrap my coils. Here's some shorties, and then full size. I'm not sure how many I have. I just I'm trying to get them all done. But I'm still short on a handful, so I'll get these next time. Let me get the camera set up and we'll go to the next part of coil setup. Alright, so now we're on to the next step, and it's just putting on a top washer, putting on a bottom washer. And then I'll do this to all of them, and then I'll put the E-clips on at the end. Just a lot more repetitive stuff. If you're only doing 1 or 2 sets at a time, it's not bad, but when you're doing 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, I think I'm doing like 24 sets. Prepping 24 sets, it gets pretty repetitive and probably the least fun part when you're doing a lot. If you're only doing a couple, it's super fun. We're getting down to the last few, and then I'll start gluing them up. But I like to use these E-clips because it clips on 3 sides to the groove. When you pop them in, it helps you line it up so it's nice and square. So these are all done. Next, we will start super gluing everything. And once it's super glued, I let them sit for a few minutes just so the super glue can set and and the washers don't spin around while you're winding your coils. So I'm going to do a couple and then I'll just probably fast forward through all of it to the end so you're not just watching me do the same thing for 40 coils. But I will put a dab in 3 spots, pull up, and then twist it so that the glue gets all the way around. I'm not sure if you'll be able to see it, but there's 3 dabs of glue. And then line it up and hold it for a second so it can kind of grip. And then it should be good from there. And just let it set. And then we do the same for the rest. Now I'm down to the last 3 to super glue. There we go, here's the last one. And so I started with the minis and then worked my way to the full size. So these should be pretty good to go. The next thing I like to do is I'll open up the holes a tiny bit, or just hit this one so that it rounds out where the coil lead is gonna go, or where the wire cover goes through. Sometimes it's not thick, or the diameter is not big enough for the wire cover to fit in there. So I'll just grab a Dremel and just open that up. And I'll do that again to all of these, and I will see you when they're done. Alright, I got these last two sets. And then this one over here, the glue didn't settle, so I'm going to redo the glue. But if you saw, when I open up the holes, I also do something on the inside. I'm just scraping off all the glue so it sits nice and flat. Sorry. There we go. So I open up the holes. These black ones I have to open them up even more. Some of them are just barely tiny little pinholes, so I gotta open up the hole completely. But if you noticed, I was going like this, then like this, and then I would go on the inside. Well, on the inside, I'm just creating a small channel for the coil wire to sit in for that first wind. So I'll finish these up real quick. Just wanted to take a second to point that out. There we go. So there's that on these. So I also right now have these plastic washers, or I think they're acrylic, because when I make the hole, it smells kind of like when girls are getting their nails done. And then I use these fiber ones. Well, these fiber ones, when you drill the hole, it leaves some material on the inside. So I just go back over every single one and just cut that off, so that there's no raised edges. You want that inside washer flat as possible. So then I'll just go back and do that to all these. Like I said earlier, it's a lot of prep work when you're doing more than just a couple sets. At least the way I do them. I like it. Maybe, I don't know, maybe my prepping is a little overkill, but that's the way I do it. And you want to be careful not to nick the tape, but there is also 4 to 5 layers, so if you do get through that first one, it's not a big deal, but you want to be careful. So I just kind of go to the edge and flick it off. And this will take another few minutes to do, and then they're ready to wind. So I'd say it probably takes about 2 hours to get to this point. And this is also why I don't really sell coils too much. It's a whole lot of work to get to the winding. And then you still gotta solder and shrink wrap and cover the coils. Maybe in the future I'll sell coils again. Maybe once I can get a CNC lathe, because right now I make them on my CNC mill, which is not the correct, I mean, it's doable, but it's not the right machine to be doing that on. So instead of it taking, 2-3 minutes on a lathe, it takes about 10 minutes on a mill per coil core. So that's the main reason I don't sell coil cores with all the other parts I sell. I do sell base plates and spring decks and armature bars, and of course the brazing jigs. I'll leave a link to my website in the description, so if you guys want to check out the stuff I sell. I usually have sales going. I think right now I have free shipping on a lot of stuff, or some stuff I even lowered the shipping, so I think the most you'll pay. Sorry about that. Let me turn that off. So I think the most you'll pay on some stuff is like $5 for shipping. Coil machines, I have free shipping right now. Same with, no, I think that's it. Just the tattoo machines. Everything else I think is $5 shipping. It's super cheap right now. Basically just enough to cover the packaging stuff. But yeah, I'll leave a link in the description so you guys can check out the website. You guys can also check out my Instagram to see what machines I have. That's usually the most updated platform. Alright, so I think I only got about 3 more of these guys to do. The plastic ones, you don't have to do this to them. They get a clean little hole. But if you don't do this, the wire could bump up on you, and then your winds will start going at an angle, and then that's when you get in a lot of trouble. Alright, so done. Gonna cut the video right there real quick while I set up the camera to wind some coils. Thanks for watching. If you liked the video, hit the like button, comment, or subscribe.